UFC 310 is this Saturday, so it's predictions time. We're gonna go through the whole card. I'm gonna give you my thoughts. Actually, I need my phone because my predictions are on there. But I'm gonna go through the card, break down what I think, who I think will win, and yeah. Before we begin, though, if you like the content, subscribe. We just hit 600 subscribers today. We hit 500 subscribers last week. Um, all I can say is thank you, guys. It's really humbling. Like, I'm not the best MMA YouTuber. I know that. But as somebody who's just making videos on the sport I love and other topics, it's humbling. But enough with the sappy bullshit. Let's get into it. Starting off with the main event. Okay. So, I have spent the last few days watching Kaya Sakura fights. Now, Kaya Sakura is really talented. Really talented. One of the biggest prospects out of the UFC, outside the UFC. Well, he was, now he's there. Former Rising champion. He relinquished the belt to come to the UFC. But Alexander Pantoja, he, in my opinion, he is one of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC right now. Obviously, he went to war with Davison Figueiredo 3 times. Uh, did they do 4? I can't remember. Um, anyways, though, I'm gonna go with Pantoja for this fight. Um, what did I say in my prediction? I should have had this pulled up. Okay. So I went Pantoja by decision. Kyle Shikara is really talented. I want to get that out there. But when you compare fighters from other organizations to the UFC, there is a major skill gap. Well, Bellator was the biggest rival of UFC for, years and years. However, the Bellator League was more of a, retirement league. But Kyle Sakura coming from Ryzen has a lot of very talented fighters. And, this is the start of like the invasion of these fighters from Asian countries coming in. And we all know how talented these Asian fighters are. But anyways, I'm gonna go Pantoja by decision. Next, I go to Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary. Now, obviously, this is undefeated versus undefeated fighter. Now, Ian Gary definitely has the advantage in striking. I would say, well, not definitely. I feel like it's much closer than people think. However, looking at how Ian Gary struggled with MVP, and I, I'm gonna say I kind of think MVP won that fight. I've only watched it once. I watched it live. Ian Gary struggled hard with MVP. Shavkat Rakhmonov has finished every opponent he has had by KO or submission. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go with Shavkat by third round submission. Um, I'm interested to see though if Ian Gary can keep up with Shavkat Rakhmonov, and even if he loses, if he can show us that he can hang with these kind of advanced wrestlers, like Bilal Muhammad is a pressure fighter. You know, he trained with the Dagestanis and that, and his style is a lot of smash mouth, taking you down, wearing you out. So I honestly think Shavkat Rakhmonov will be the one to win the interim title, and we obviously know that this is supposed to be Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat. It's supposed to be the main event even. I picked Shavkat to win against Bilal Muhammad, so I have to pick Shavkat to beat Ian Gary. Like I said, third round submission. Let's turn that off. Moving on though. Still gone versus Alexander Volkov. Now, I want to preface this. I went through the card, went through the records, watched, fights for the last few days on these fighters. Initially I went with Volkov by second round submission. However, if you watched my sport yesterday, you know that Saragon has been training in Dagestan with Makachev, with Khabib, with all of them. So, if Saragon is able to develop a submission game, he is a threat to win the title. Like, remember, he won those first 2 rounds against Francis, and then it was wrestling that kept him back. And then obviously he had the championship fight against John Jones. John Jones being one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler in UFC history. Hamzat Shmaev, yeah. But, yeah. I'm gonna go with Volkov by second round submission. But I am interested to see how Siragan does with the new training he's done in Dagestan. Moving on. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Why are they still putting Kron Gracie on main events? Like, you look at his career, if it'll show up. He lost to Charles Jourdain, lost to Cub Swanson. I'm pretty sure he lost this fight if I remember correctly. Kron Gracie, we all know the last name. We all know what the Gracies mean to the fight game. But I think Bryce Mitchell wins. I'm gonna go Bryce Mitchell by second round submission because I do believe that Bryce Mitchell has good enough grappling to be a Kron Gracie. I think he absolutely wins the stand-up exchanges. So, like I said, Bryce Mitchell, second round submission. Let's see if I'm right. Next, by the way, too, every fight on this card is fucking, like, it is stacked. Nate Landwehr versus Dooku Choi. Obviously Nate the Train Landwehr, highly entertaining fighter. And what is he coming off again? He is coming off a win against Emmers. Before that, he lost to Dan Ige, who Dan Ige, it isn't a top row to, this is welterweight, right? Featherweight. Oh yeah, featherweight. What? Why the fuck do I think Dan Ige is welterweight? Yeah, featherweight. I'm dumb. So, I'm gonna go Nate Landwehr by decision, but again, this is a really fun matchup. Great main card opener. Moving on to the headline of the prelims, Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Alright. We're gonna talk about this for a bit. One, I think is hilarious. Two, Anthony Smith, he's coming off of that loss to, wasn't it Paul Craig? No, Doidzi, my bad. He's coming off of that loss to Doedze, and let's be honest, Roman Doedze, he's a good fighter. He's not the type of top weight heavyweight. And Anthony Smith, I don't see him beating the top five guys or even the top 10. And, you know, statistically, Anthony Smith is one of the greatest fighters ever. But he has never done it against a legitimate opponent. You know, when it comes to the tougher fights in light heavyweight. And you know, he did have that column about Alex Pereira, and I do think if he can throw together a little win streak, which I'm being honest, I love Anthony Smith. I have nothing against him as a person. He is a fun fighter to watch. He looks like he has one foot out. Michael Bisping even said it after the fight against Roman Doedze. I'm gonna go Dominic Reyes by second round knockout. But I'm not. I don't want to shit on Anthony Smith, but we've seen so many people hold on to their career way too long. Tony Ferguson, BJ Penn, Chuck Liddell, Rampage Jackson, the list goes on. And I don't want Anthony Smith because he is a really intelligent guy. He doesn't need to fight. He's good at breaking down fights. Don't believe you me. He already has been a commentator. Like, he has a way out of fighting. So, I'm gonna go Reyes by second round knockout. I hope that Anthony Smith would retire because, you know, like I said, I've seen too many fighters hold on way too long, and then you get more CTE. You lose more yourself each fight you go into, and like I said, Anthony Smith is a really smart, intelligent dude. I don't want him to get more brain damage than he needs. So, Dominic Reyes, second round knockout. Moving on to Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Obviously, Themba Gorimbo is one of the UFC's feel-good stories. The Rock bought him a house and all this stuff. And, you know, he's shown capabilities. And, like, he was coming off of the win against Nico Price, Brahim Rodriguez. Yeah. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Question is, though, welterweight is one of the most stacked divisions out there. I would say the top divisions right now, I would say, are bantamweight, featherweight, welterweight. You know, these divisions are absolutely stacked. Maybe Themba Gorimbo has what it takes to climb the ladders, but can you really tell me that you favor him against, you know, our Shavkat, Sean Brady, guys like that? Maybe he can beat like an MVP or one of these older guys, but I still have legitimate concerns over how he will perform against the top welterweights. Vicente Luque, though, obviously is an older fighter. He's closer to retirement. With that being said, I'm going to go with Themba Gorimbo by decision. I feel like it's gonna be a fun fight. I feel like this is Themberger's chance at showcasing what he has against an established fighter in Vicente Luque, who has been around the title picture, has faced top, has faced former champions and top contenders. So I'll be interested in seeing this fight. Moving on, Mofsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Now, obviously, this fight was supposed to happen a while ago. I think it was Aljamain Sterling that got injured. I might be wrong on that. But, you know, Aljamain Sterling obviously moved up to featherweight after his loss against Sean O'Malley. He beat Calvin Kattar by unanimous decision. Calvin Kattar being a top guy, but I wouldn't say he's, in contention for the title right now. Mofsar Evloev, undefeated, another Russian guy. And you really can't bet against these fucking Russians, can you? Like, every time you do, you lose. That being said, I'm gonna go Mofsar Evloev by third round submission. Um, Again, I'm really interested to see if Aljamain Sterling can get the upset because yeah, he's plus 205. So, like I said, I'm going Mofsar Evloev. I feel like he's another one of these undefeated Russian guys that will make it to the title, keep it for as long as he wants, and Rob just have to sit through it. Moving on, we got Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. This might be my favorite fight on the card, honestly. I love this fight. Brian Battle, obviously, making himself known. I had a hilarious post-fight speech when he fought Drusset. That was a second round knockout. This guy is really, really good. I'm interested to see again with all these welterweight prospects that are coming up. This division is going to be a war zone. Like, you guys remember when John Jones retired from light heavyweight and that title kind of just bounced everywhere up until Pereira got it, and looks like he won't ever give it up. I mean, Magomed Ankalaev is probably the biggest threat, but even then, after Magomed Ankalaev's last fight, I think Pereira easily deals with him. We're not talking about that fight though, we're talking about this fight. I'm gonna go Brian Battle by second on KO, but I'm really looking forward to this fight. Moving on to the headliner of the prelims, Chris Weidman, Eric Anders, two veterans. Chris Weidman, I'm pretty sure he is coming off of a win against Bruno Silva. But I mean, Bruno Silva, we all know he's basically cannon fodder. And I mean that respectfully. He's cannon fodder to the up and coming guys. Both these guys are old. I could see this being a double retirement fight, but I'm gonna go Eric Anders by decision. I could see Weidman pulling it off, but I can't. Weidman is what? Like, fuck, I guess it will be over 10 years away from his title run. And He did beat Anderson Silva. I get that. But that was a very weird fight, and I feel like that was more of Anderson Silva getting himself knocked out by being cocky than, you know, Chris Weidman showcasing his skill. He did show off his power, absolutely. So, for this fight, I'm gonna go Eric Sanders by decision. Moving on to Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Josh Van coming out for, can't remember his last, yeah, Therese, that's right. Coming out for that fight against Therese. He did look good. I picked him to lose his last fight. I think Cody Durden will get the knockout. I have a feeling that I don't know. Like I kind of went back and forth on this fight, and Cody Durden was my final pick. I just, Joshua Van, even though he won recently, I have concerns with his chin and that. But I could be wrong. Again, I was wrong on the last fight. Maybe that's just good luck trying me betting against him. Moving on to Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa being another one of these older guys that probably only has a few fights left. I'm gonna go Max Griffin by decision. I could see Griffin getting the knockout, but I feel like Michael Chiesa will be able to use the grappling to at least stay alive in the fight. So, with that being said, I'm going to go Max Griffin by decision. Moving on to Clay Guida versus Chase Silva. I just made a short. If Clay Guida loses this fight, he will have the most losses in UFC history. But I mean, Clay Guida has been in the sport ever since I started watching, honestly. And he's been in a lot of good fights. The Diego Sanchez fight, so many classics. Any fight this guy is in, it's a banger. Chase Silva though, younger guy, honest to come up. Where's his last fight against? He beat Barshev, beat Levitt. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I feel like this might be Chase Silva. I feel like this fight will prop him up to having a fight against the guy who's right outside the rankings, and then after that, I can see him fighting a ranked opponent, possibly, with how he does in this fight. But I'm gonna go Chase Silva by 3rd round submission. Sadly, Clay Guida will have that record of the most losses in the UFC history. But it should be a fun fight. Now we get to the starting fight of the night: Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Lucas Brzezinski. Now, Kennedy Nzechukwu moving up to heavyweight. Lucas Brzezinski, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about him. I was only able to see a few of his fights. He's won and 2 in his last 3, and I don't really see him showing anything off that impresses me. Kennedy, I'm just gonna call him Kennedy. I cannot pronounce that last name to save my life. He's coming off of a win against Chris Barnett, first on KO. Lost that split decision against OSP. Like, I feel like we're gonna see a shift in heavyweight within, well, we're already seeing it now, where we're gonna see more of the traditional heavyweights, the big belly brawlers, phase out, and we're gonna see more of these athletic guys who come up to heavyweight, most likely from light heavyweight, and have the size and speed and power um, that light heavyweights have. And with the added power of, 30 extra pounds or 40 extra pounds. But I will go Kennedy by Sucker and KO. So, to refresh, we've got Pantoja, decision, Shavkat, third round submission, Volkov by second round sub, Bryce Mitchell by second round sub, Nate Landwehr by decision, Dominic Reyes by second round knockout, then Williambo by decision, Moksha Epworth by third round submission, Brian Battle by second round KO, Eric Andrews by decision, Cody Durden by second round knockout, Max Griffin by decision, Chase Hooper by third round submission, and Kennedy by second round knockout. Let me know in the comments what are your predictions for these fights, and yeah, that's really all I got. Leave a like, all that stuff. Get out of here.